This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Ohio Richlands. But before that, this video is brought to you by Douglas and Eli's Philippine Life and Crispy 1205. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Ohio Richlands map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a little bit of the description. Welcome to Ohio. Welcome to a beautiful rural region of the northern United States where cornfields nestle between hardwood forests and fields of wheat along numerous lakes and streams. If you see cows grazing in front of an old American barn, the grass shiny green, while a combine harvester brings in the rich harvest in front of a huge modern silo complex next door, you know this is where agriculture is at home. On this map, there are more than 10 farms or similarly designed plots of land, sheds with grain bins or similar. There's also 37 fields and 7 grasslands that can be bought by the player. Forestry is not a focus of this map, but there are 2 buyable forests available if you do want to cut down some trees. There are no collectibles on this map. There are also numerous ponds and rivers or streams. These do not have water triggers. The seasonal growth is the standard base game. In addition, there are 2 sell stations for classic crops. There's also a farm shop that is available at the dairy farm as a sell point and a restaurant at a campsite. Let's go ahead and just load on in and we'll take a look at the map. Now we are going to use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. I'll also tell you that if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main starting area is exactly how you're going to see it here in new farmer mode, including the fact that you do start with starting machinery in all play modes. I also want to tell you that every building on this map, for the most part, with a few very rare exceptions, is permanently built into the map. There is not going to be any farm customization going on here with these pre-built farms. Now, if you look at the log, we do have an error, cannot load resource, basically right toward the end. Don't quite know what it is having problems loading, but it is there, and I did want to point that out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. And I do have to say, the map author has done an absolute stand-up job in replicating rural America here as far as farmlands and farm density. More on that here in a little bit. This map does include all of the standard crop types available to us here in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands, you'll see we start out by owning the farm, which is Farmland 3. That is our starting farm. That can be bought for $206,000 if we are not in new farmer mode. We also start out with field number 2. And then field number 9, or farmland number 9, which is actually technically field 6. In addition, there are several buyable farms around this map. I'm going to try to point out a few. I might be able to point out most of them. I might skip a few here in this segment. We have Farmland 51 for $658,000. We have Farmland 4 for $261,000. We have Farmland 48 for $1,778,000. We have Farmland 30, $1,121,000. We have Farmland 53, $762,000. We have Farmland 40, which is $4.2 million. We also have an area, I believe, there's a couple other areas. We're going to see them during the fly around. I'm just kind of skipping out on them right now. I believe this might be one. Nope, that's not one down there. At any rate, there are plenty of farmlands that can be bought that are, again, they're all pre-placed. We're going to be able to sell a few things at each farm, but not the entirety of the farms. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the viable farmlands that we own, how large they are, how much they cost, and if they include any fields, which fields they include. So you see we own farmland 2, which field 2, farmland 9, which includes field 6, farmland 3, and farmland 26. I'm going to slowly scroll through the rest of this list, and you're going to be able to basically cross-reference the farmlands with the field numbers and then the field cost, or the farmland cost, I should say. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our field calculator screen. This is going to show us just the sizes of the specific fields. We can then cross-reference the field number with the farmland number that is associated with that field in the previous screen. Now, with respect to the precision farming soil map, if you are playing with this map with precision farming, this map does include the generic soil map that is a part of the precision farming mod. Let's go ahead and see how that is getting applied to these fields. As you can see, field 2 is a combination of loam and sandy loam. Field 6 is mostly loamy sand and sandy loam. But as you can see, this is the generic soil map that we have come to recognize with respect to precision farming on this map. If we take a look at our crop counter, we do have, as the description said, the generic crop counter that is a part of the of Farming Simulator 22. And if we take a look at our prices screen, we do have the ability to sell all of our base game crops. But what we do not have the ability to sell is sugar beet cut. That, I think, is because we do not have a biogas plant on this particular map. In addition, we do have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk, but we do not have the ability to sell silage, nor do we have the ability to sell grass, nor do we have the ability to sell straw. That is because, for whatever reason, this map does not have an animal dealer. There's no animal dealer on this map. So if you're going to buy more animals, you're going to have to buy them at the animal pen that either is pre-placed or you place down yourself. I think that's why we're not seeing silage, grass, and straw, because typically they are sell points at animal dealers. We also do have the ability to sell all of our base game products with the exception of planks, we also are missing the ability to buy bulk lime, which we never take points off for, just pointing it out. We also do not have a stone crusher pre-placed on this map. We also have not typically taken points off for the stone crusher, but we are going to point that out. Now, of course, with respect to the Platinum expansion, as we have seen in all the maps released to date post-Platinum expansion, we do not have the ability to sell any of the Platinum expansion stuff yet. And that is fine. The map's going to get a pass for that because we're not going to be scoring with respect to Platinum expansion production until 2023. Now, in addition, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, since this map does not have an animal dealer, you will not have the ability to sell separated manure. If we take a look at our starting fleet, we do have a decent listing of starting equipment. All of it is owned, none of it is leased, and it all has pretty low operating hours and is well maintained. We do start out with some animals. We have 1 rooster and 9 chickens. We also have 79 Holstein cows and 1 brown Swiss cow. Then we have 2 horses. Now, these are not located at our starting farm. They are scattered around the map. Do note that these do not have any food with them at the very start. So you will maybe want to prioritize getting them food so you can get them healthy and producing in short order. This map does have contracts available. There are no production chains owned at the start. In fact, this map does not have any production chains pre-placed at all. And as the description said, there are no no collectibles on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the Massey Ferguson 3707 AL small tractor. Then we have the John Deere 4755 medium tractor, the Mack Superliner 6x4 semi-truck. We have the John Deere T560 grain harvester that is paired up with the 625X grain header. and then the Nardi N40B header trailer. We have the New Holland L318 skid steer loader, the 1986 pickup truck. We have the Load King Distinction Super B pull trailer to match up with our Mack semi. We have the Diegelman Signature 7200 stone collector, which is rather ironic because we just mentioned there's no place to sell our stones, but we have at least a stone collector. We have the Agrimaz BTC 50H Disc Harrow, the Pottinger Terrasem C6F Cedar. We have the Agrimaz Falcon 3 Planter. We have the Hardy Mega 1200L Sprayer, the small square baler Massey Ferguson 1840. We have the Quickie Q3M front loader. Then we have the front loader fork with grapple. We have pallet fork for our skid steer. We then also have an 1800 kilogram John Deere front weight and a MHAL 4320/35 flatbed trailer. If you take a look at our mods and DLCs, you will see that there are no custom vehicles or implements that are a part of this particular map. And with that, I'm just going to quickly tab over to our starting farm. And as I said, Map Author has done an amazing job in my opinion, capturing rural America. And I'd love to hear from you guys what you all think down in the comments below with respect to that as well. We've got a bank barn right here, so we've got some of our vehicles and such stored in there. And then around the back, we have some additional machinery placed down here. Several, if not all, of the possible farm areas do have a power washer included. Got our semi, or a little pup trailer. Some more of our machinery. Then we have our farmhouse with our pickup truck. Now this map does not include any sleep triggers, so you will be able to put down your own sleep trigger. It's kind of a flip a coin as to if that's a good or bad thing, right? So you can put your own sleep trigger down at any of the possible player farms if you are going to be playing on some other farm other than this, which also means you don't have to be worried about the fact that you can't sell a sleep trigger. Although recently in an update, Giants did establish that you can put down multiple sleep triggers in single player, which is always a good thing. Gotta love the flexibility. That is the starting farm right here in New Farmer mode. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to fly around the map. We're going to talk a bit about some of the scoring. I know this map has scored low. We've already seen the score on the thumbnail. Scoring system aside, this map, as I said, has nailed, in my opinion, rural America. It just does not score well based on our scoring system. Does that mean the map is bad? No. Does that mean the scoring system is bad? No. It's just a fact. It doesn't score well. And there's a few points of interest that I am going to point out as constructive criticism. Hopefully the map will get updated in the near future to correct some of the things that I'm going to point out during the fly around and the drive around. As we gain a little bit of altitude here, we're going to do our typical 360 rotation. And when I say that the map author has nailed, in my opinion, rural America, it's based on this fact that when I drive to work every day, I drive through rural farmland in Virginia. Easily, I can pick just about any point on my travels, get out of the car, and just do a 360 turn, and I will see at least a half dozen farms within visual sight. And Virginia's not flat, so we're not seeing for miles, mind you. I will see at least 6 farms wherever I stop and just look around. Now, those farms are identified with harvestor silos. They're identified with the older kind of block style silos. But at any rate, I guarantee you pretty much anywhere on my travels, I'll see 6 farms. What do we see right here in this position? Well, we have our starting farm. We've got another farm right here to the south. We rotate a little bit. There are 1, 2, 3 farms. Oops. Sorry. Wrong button. 1 farm. 1, 2, 3 farms off in the distance. Wait, 4 farms. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 farms visually right here from this point, this vantage area. That's why I think the map author has nailed rural America, because anywhere in rural America, you go somewhere, you're going to be able to get out of your car, get out of your truck, just do a 360 turn. Guarantee you're going to see a whole lot of different farms in that one spot. So, as I said earlier, the major downfall to some of our scoring is the fact that these buildings are built in. So, specifically at the starting farm, everything's built in. You can't sell anything. At this farm, the buildings are built in. We can sell the silo complex, but this silo complex, if I sell it, the collisions stay. Okay, so if I sell this, in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do it just to demonstrate. We're going to sell this building. We have to click here at this trigger. And I messed up because I don't own the land. That's on me. I messed up. If you sell this, if you own the land and sell this, the building visually goes away, but the collisions remain, which may prevent you from putting something else down here, and it will definitely prevent you from driving in this area entirely. You can also sell these meridian bins, which is good. And for whatever reason, we have two fuel tanks here. You can sell both of those. So anywhere you see this silo system, it has that same problem with the collisions remaining. Let's fly over here to the western side of the map. We've got several farms located right here. So this farm is our chicken farm. We can sell the chicken area. Well, more or less, we can sell the chicken triggers, but what we can't sell is the fencing of the chicken area. We can also place the chicken coop. We can place the chicken triggers, but we can't get rid of the chicken fencing. Now, what we do also am missing here is an area indicating where the eggs are going to spawn. My guess is the eggs are going to spawn over here. Oh, sorry, I see them now. So they are indicated. Just like the other farms, the buildings on this farm are pre-placed. These are functional silos. But I do want to show you, the triggers overlap a fair bit. So I think this is set up to allow you to dump to ground to fill this silo, that you don't need to use an auger. But with the fact that these triggers overlap so much, be very careful when you're filling these that you're filling the silo you think you're filling. Or you may think you've lost crop, but really you've put it in the other silo. So if this map is going to be updated, I would like to see these triggers made smaller so they don't overlap. Or these bins be spread apart more, again, so those triggers just don't overlap. Across the street, we have another playable farm. Again, the same issue with this silo complex as the other one. We can sell it if we own the land, but the collisions do remain. We also have the ability to sell our fuel trailer down there, or fuel tanker, but then the rest of these buildings are permanently built into the map. So with respect to farms being customizable, we're going to give the map a score of 0.25. Because most of the buildings are fixed. When we get to the cow barn, we can sell the cow barn, but the fencing remains. We can sell the horse triggers when we get to that area, but the building remains. We can sell the chicken triggers, but the fencing remains. We can sell, for the most regard, the silos. We have these 3 silos. Now, they don't overlap as much. They still overlap, but they don't overlap quite as much. But again, like right here, we've got 3 triggers all in one area. So that could pose an issue as to which silo you're putting into. Up here we have a sell point. This is buyable land, but this is a sell point. And then we have a little co-op area, and we have a storage for solid fertilizer or... yeah, we have a solid fertilizer tank and a solid fertilizer tank here also. They are basically storage. So you can store in there, you can buy product in there. We have another playable farm located directly in front of us. This farm is kind of in 2 parts. There's an area across the street, and then there's this area over here. The area on this side of the street has some sheds and a fuel tank. The area on this side of the street is kind of junked up. But this is one of the player farm areas. Now, something else to point out is this map has custom traffic. When we were over at the chicken area, I saw a truck come by that was hauling round bales. I don't know if you saw that or not. So this map does have a lot of custom traffic, which is a really, really nice touch. Now, with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, this map is going to get a score of 0 on that metric. As I said, there are no production buildings built into the map, and there are no areas set aside for use to place production. At least no areas set aside that I am deeming to be areas set aside. I really do not like the idea of having to take a field and turn it into a placeable area. So we are going to give the map a 0 with regard to that. So here we have the horse area. We can sell the triggers within, but the barn and the fencing is going to remain. Now this silo over here, this is not a storage silo. This is a sell point. So you cannot sell this. We don't have the problem with collisions on this particular area because it is a sell point. And would you believe it? You're looking at the map edge. You're looking at the map edge. I really like these. It's a nice decorative aspect. Here we have another farm. It's basically a very large building. And then several grain silos. We can sell all of these grain silos, as well as the storage silos right there. As we continue down the eastern side of the map, we're coming over here to our campground. This is a campground sell point located below here. Now, I'm just pointing this out. I think that there are some tents, some additional tents that are going to pop up during various seasons because there is some collisions for a tent right here. So you see we've stopped. There's also a collision for a tent over there. And the collisions look like the tent would look just like this. So I'm thinking maybe during different times of the year, tents are going to pop up at different camping areas here. So just saying, if you think maybe you're going to be able to come in here and use this for something, be aware that there are some collisions here. I think we are going to see some tents pop up during other parts of the year. We have another potential farm area here. And then this is the big cow farm. We've seen this round barn on the preview image. This is one of our signature farms here on the map. Large cow pasture. And again, if we sell the cow building, the white building here will go, but the fencing here, this fencing here, and this barbed wire fencing here, it does remain. Then we're going to conclude our fly around down here at the main shop. It is a John Deere dealership, but we're not going to hold that against it. Let's go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. And then we'll do a little bit of a quick drive around. So our vehicles are going to spawn across the lot, across the road over here in this grass lot. Now we do have some other things that are over here. I believe these are decorative things. We'll check that out in a minute. Also, we have then our vehicle dealer, our workshop dealer, right here. Now, we do not have an area marked, but the trigger area is right here, right beside the wrench. Okay, so it's not marked, but it is right here. This is going to be our buy, sell, trade, repaint. This is going to be our dealer workshop trigger. Now, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to make use of this, but we'll just check. Yeah, nope. And I'm pretty sure this is just decorative. Yep. So, with these two items being decorative, we've got an okay area for our new stuff to spawn in at, but not a huge area here. So do be cautious with respect to buying a lot of machinery. You may need to clear this area out a bit before you go and acquire some more. Let's talk some more about our scoring metric. With respect to having the ability to sell all of our base game crops, production items, and animal outputs, we are going to give the map a score of 3/4 of a point because we do have the ability to sell most things. The only things that we do not have the ability to sell are sugar beet cut, silage, grass, straw, and planks. And sugar beet cut, silage, grass, and straw are typically sold at the BGA or the animal dealer. And this map has neither of those. So that is most likely why we are not seeing those sell points. So here we have the farm shop sell point down here at the dairy farm. Again, there are no triggers indicating it, but it's basically centered on this dump station icon. Really like this graphic. Right? All products we offer either are produced on this dairy farm or provided by surrounding farms from the area. Really cool. Really cool setup. Let's go over here and check out the dairy area. So again, this building can be sold. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode. This map does not have any custom buildings, or custom sheds, I should say, that we can put down. We do have a few custom silos that are a part of this map. We have the Meridian flat bottom bin. We then have our silo complex that, again, if you sell this, the pre-placed ones, they do keep their collisions where they were. We do have the ability to put another one down. And then these are the little small bins that we can place down. We have a silage bunker. Our silos extensions, base game stuff. We do have a fuel tank and a steel fertilizer tank that are listed as mods part of the map. We do have also a pressure washer that is part of the mods listed. No custom farmhouses. There's no custom production, sell points, greenhouses, orchards, or generators. Under animals, we do have the cow area here. But again, this is just the building. It is not going to be all the fencing and everything. But it is most likely the building and the nav mesh that is associated with that. 140 cows. We have the triggers for the horse area. And then we also have the triggers for the chicken area right here that we can put down. No custom pigs, sheep, or bees. Decorations are all base game stuff. And with respect to our painting textures, we've got a fairly standard list of painting textures. And then our plants are also fairly standard with respect to that. So as I mentioned, this will hold 140 cows. We start out with 80. We have our milk trigger there. We also then have our food and straw trigger located under here. And our slurry point is going to be right there. Really is a shame that we can't place a lot of these custom buildings, because these buildings are really, really cool. I really wish we had the ability to sell these and kind of build out our farm how we want. Oh, wow. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this map is visually stunning. Nailed rural America. I've seen round barns just like this. Nailed it. Just does not play well with my scoring system. And my scoring system was devised around Farm Sim 22 gameplay features and functions. If this was an FS17 map, everything should be baked in because that's how they work. This would be right up there, top 10 FS17 American maps. Hands down. They introduced the ability to kind of buildable farm in 19. That's when we started expecting the ability to sell stuff and be able to put down our farms how we like. That was further extended in FS22. So at this stage in the game, a year after FS22 is released, I think most players are expecting to be able to come in here, and if they don't quite like how this is all set up, to be able to delete some buildings out, put down the buildings maybe in a different orientation, put down their own buildings if they don't like these, and play the map that way. That's why we check, can we customize farms? Production's a heavy part of Farm Sim 22 now. That's why we check what type of production is built into the map. This map doesn't have any production built in. Is that a problem? Only for a scoring system. He nailed rural America. Rural America doesn't have factories out in the middle of nowhere. So to that light, it's very realistic. So we can open that door. I'm not going to open every shed door, but it is a usable shed. But again, that's something we score on. Oh, this is cool. Got our own ATV park. Oh, let's go ATV parking. Direct me to the ATV trail. Hot dog. All right, just bear with me. Bear with me. I'm sorry, I have to do this. It's just a thing. Can't help myself. Oh, we wrecked. Am I hating on this map? No. It just doesn't play well with the scoring metric. But again, is the scoring metric not working? No, it's fine. If you change the scoring metric every time a map didn't fit it, then why would you even have one? Whoa, there we go. 2 wrecks. This looks fun. Now, would this be a decent map in multiplayer? I think so. I think it'd be a decent map in multiplayer. What you'd have to worry about is, and pay attention to, is playing with too large a machinery. Because if you play with too large a machinery, you're going to have all the farmlands kind of bought up probably within like the first few game days. But I think it would play fairly well as a multiplayer map, just from a standpoint of having so many possible player farm options. Wow, this is a heck of a course. We haven't even gotten back to the start yet. I think we're getting ready. Oh no! Whoa! Oh, we just kind of took a shortcut. And we're back. To the starting point. Well, that was fun. That was cool. With respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique, I've looked at these custom farm buildings a fair bit earlier, and I'm going to say that they are using the new technique. If they aren't, they darn well look good enough to be using the new texture technique. So we are going to give the map a full point there. So we have, what is this, 6 individual silos. Then we have 3 fertilizer silos and a large pole barn. What is this? Redneck weather. Oh my gosh. That's cool. Rock moves. It's windy. Rock wet. It's raining. And it's not raining. Rock white. It's snow. Oh, that's some funny stuff there. And here we have one of our grain sell points. Located right here. Private grain trading. Oh. There you go. Then here we have the horse area. And again, if we sell this, the triggers go away, but the building and all remains. So we have our buy point for our horses, our water, our food, and our straw. Total of 5 horses in this area, and we start out with 2. Then we're coming up here to kind of our junky farm. All right, so we got the junk over there, then we have the usable buildings over here. And a fuel tank. And here we have a sell point. Located right here. I believe this is our wood sell point, as would maybe visually indicate. Firewood by a neighbor. North 97. I'll be curious if North 97 is an Ohio road. These roads are indicative of a general area. I know the description kind of said that this map was built from kind of different areas, different images, different sets of inspirational locations. So over here we have the co-op, and the co-op is going to basically be where we can store buy some solid fertilizer in. And then we have another grain sell point located right here. Now here we have an indicator showing 2 different areas to dump. We have our dump grate, and then we have this over here by this tower thing. There is a trigger here. You can see that right there. You can see one right over here. There's no real indication that there are 2 sell points right here. This is just Ohio Ag Co-op. So I don't know if that over there to the left is a mistake, or if certain things are supposed to be sold there, and if they are, a lot of the trigger is covered up by that tower. So I'm not really sure there. Overall, the map is subtle rolling hills. I wouldn't say it's flat, but it's also not extremely hilly. So you shouldn't have too much trouble with respect to using slightly underpowered machinery to do your farm work. Over here we have kind of a smaller player area. Again, we have the pressure washer. We have 3 small silos. Took a look at those during the fly around portion. We're going to make our way past our starting farm. There's one of the custom vehicles. Right there. Custom Dodge. Oh, look at that. A little muscle. A little muscle action going on there. We have another player farm. Big custom building in here. Custom buildings everywhere. We can sell these silos. They are sellable. We've got our fuel there. And all these sheds work. We can open all these sheds up. We're going to make our way past our starting farm. Oh, there's some more muscle. Green muscle. Then we have our chicken farm, which we looked at during the fly around. With the custom sheds, we have these 2 grain silos that are usable silos. And I think those triggers are set up to allow you to dump to ground. Oh, there it is. Oh, can I catch up to it? Oh, I think I am. Oh, he's a pretty quick mover. Traffic does move pretty quick on this map. Hello, that's a pretty cool truck. On some grass bales. Alright. So we've established we have custom traffic. Watch out, there's ditches along the road. Ditches can be real... yeah, okay. We're not saying that. So we've got another farm over here to our right. It's got one of those silos. Again, that particular silo complex, if you sell it, the collisions are going to remain. Almost done. Make our way around to one more player farm. This one also has that big silo complex that, again, if you sell it, the collisions remain. Hopefully that'll get fixed in an update. I like how a lot of these farms are very different from each other with respect to the buildings. But there are some general common themes going on as well. So the final scoring metric is player and interactive areas being clearly marked. We have a conundrum here because there are areas like down at the farm shop where we didn't have our markers. We didn't have our yellow and black hashes really indicating where things were. Sell points. We've got the little floaty blue icon, but we really don't have delineated where they don't have a dump grate exactly where those triggers are located. So we are going to knock off 1/4 of a point with respect to that. So we are going to give the map 3/4 of a point there. That's going to score this map 2.75 out of 5. And where this map lost the most points is it gained 0 points with respect to production at a minimum if we would have had one buildable plot. One plot that was just barren, vacant. Oh, that one had like custom signage on the side. Man, I just want to kind of hang out here and look at the custom traffic. I'm just going to sit here on this rock as we wrap up the video. You can take a look at this custom traffic. Comes up and down the road. Any rate, if we had just one buildable area that was clearly a buildable area, the map would have got some points with respect to production be built in or areas set aside for such. If we had, I don't know why we're missing an animal dealer, but we're missing an animal dealer. If there was an animal dealer that had typical animal dealer sell stuff, we would have the ability to sell silage, grass, and straw. For whatever reason, I think it's probably an error. We're just missing the ability to sell planks. And since we don't have a biogas plant on the map, we don't have the ability to sell sugar beet cut. So lost a quarter point there. Farms can't be customized. I lost 3/4 of a point on that metric. So in an update, if we could sell the buildings, then we're good there. And then lastly, we lost a little bit of points with respect to the interactive areas being clearly marked. For the most part, I think you can figure out where those are. But again, it would be nice to see both the floating blue icons and the yellow and black hashes. We do have some areas where we have both. We have areas where we have the yellow and black hashes, areas where we don't. So it's a little bit of a consistency thing going on there. So guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think of Ohio Richlands. And until next time, happy farming.